Yevgeny Prigozhin is a Russian businessman with close ties to Russian President Vladimir Putin. Prigozhin was called Putin's chef in an Associated Press article because of Prigozhin's restaurants and catering businesses that hosted dinners which Vladimir Putin attended with foreign dignitaries. Prigozhin controls a network of companies, including 3 accused of interference in the 2016 United States elections. Prigozhin is also accused of attempting to influence the 2018 U.S. midterm elections. Prigozhin, his companies and associates face economic sanctions and criminal charges in the United States. According to an investigation by Bellingcat, the Insider and Der Spiegel, Prigozhin's operations are tightly integrated with Russia's defense ministry and its intelligence arm. Prigozhin was born in Leningrad June 1, 1961, to Violetta Prigozhina. He graduated from an athletics boarding school in 1977 and was engaged in cross-country skiing. His father and stepfather were of Russian Jewish descent, while his mother is of ethnic Russian descent. On 29 November 1979, Prigozhin was given a suspended sentence for stealing. In 1981 he was sentenced to 12 years imprisonment under articles of robbery, fraud, and involving teenagers in prostitution. In a turning point in his life, Prigozhin ultimately spent 9 years in prison before he was released. In 1990, after his release, he and his stepfather set up a network to sell hot dogs. Soon, according to a New York Times interview with him, the rubles were piling up faster than his mother could count them. He also became a 15% stakeholder and manager of a contrast, started by Boris Spector, a classmate from his boarding school, which was the first grocery store chain in St. Petersburg. Also, Prigozhin as CEO and Spector and Igor Gorbenko founded the first casinos in St. Petersburg under Spectrum CJSC in St. Petersburg. In 1997, inspired by waterfront restaurants on the Seine in Paris, Prigozhin and Zimanov spent $400,000 remodeling a rusting boat on the Vyatka River and started the floating restaurant called New Island, which became one of the most fashionable dining spots in St. Petersburg. He said his patrons wanted to see something new in their lives and were tired of just eating cutlets with vodka. In 2001, Prigozhin personally served food to Vladimir Putin and French President Jacques Chirac when they dined at New Island. He also hosted U.S. President George W. Bush in 2002. In 2003, Putin celebrated his birthday at New Island. By 2003, Prigozhin had left his business partners, established his own independent restaurants, and had become a confidant of Putin, apparently free to engage in illicit activities without fear of prosecution. His company, Concord Catering, got hundreds of millions in government contracts for feeding school children and government workers. In 2012 he got a contract to supply meals to the Russian military worth $1.2 billion over 1 year. Some of the profits from this contract are alleged to have been used to start and fund the Internet Research Agency. In 2012 he moved his family into a St. Petersburg compound with a basketball court and a helicopter pad. He has a private jet and a 115-foot yacht. The Anti-Corruption Foundation accused Prigozhin of corrupt business practices. They estimated his illegal wealth to be worth more than 1 billion rubles. Alexei Navalny has alleged that Prigozhin was linked to a company called Mostafsky that had supplied poor quality food to Moscow schools which had caused a dysentery outbreak. According to Novaya Gazeta in October 2018, Evgeny Arkadievich Guliev is the head of the security service for Prigozhin. On December 11, 2019, which is Heroes Day, or Heroes of the Fatherland Day, MSK LLC, which has the same phone number as Concord Catering, was paid 4.1 million rubles for a Kremlin banquet. In 2018, MSK LLC was paid only 2.5 million rubles from the presidential administration for the exact same banquet at the Kremlin. Prigozhin has been linked to a mercenary group known as the Wagner Group, which has been involved in various actions as a private military contractor. On 7 February 2018, Wagner attacked US-backed Kurdish forces in Syria in an attempt to take an oil field. Wagner and their allies suffered dozens of casualties when the US responded with air power. The Washington Post reported Prigozhin was in close contact with Russian and Syrian military officials before the February 7 action. The connections between Prigozhin and Wagner have been the subject of press coverage in Russia and the United States. Wagner is led by Dmitry Utkin, who was once head of security for Prigozhin. A person by the name of Dmitry Utkin was also listed as Director General of Prigozhin's Concord management. Since 2011, Prigozhin's mother Violetta Prigozhina has been the owner of Concord. Concord and Prigozhin denied any connection to Wagner. However, in November 2016, they